lounging, son.
Welcome back to the Comic Lounge. My name's Ryan, and today I'm going to be talking about J. Scott Campbell's Danger Girl #1. This is a book that I absolutely loved when it came out. This was such a great era. It was right when Wildstorm was about to leave Image and then be published through DC Comics, but they introduced the Cliffhanger imprint, which, had J. Scott Campbell's Danger Girl. You had Humberto Ramos on Crimson, and you had Chris Pachalo on Steampunk, and then you had, obviously, Joe Madureira on Battle Chasers. Just such a great lineup of fantastic artists. But we're going to talk Danger Girl #1 today. And before I get into it, I want to remind everybody, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Check out all the awesome content, over 700 videos on the channel. Hit the bell icon also so you're notified every time we drop a new vid. And now let's talk Danger Girl #1. So many influences are prevalent to me in this, whether it's, you got stuff like James Bond, or you have stuff like, I think, like G.I. Joe. I mean, just even based on this character, kind of reminds me of like a Storm Shadow or Snake Eyes. And then you also have a little bit of like that Charlie's Angels vibe. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that's kind of mixed into this. If nothing else, this book reminds me why I wish we still had a monthly, interiors from J. Scott Campbell. You open up, this dude's talking to somebody through a coconut. He's talking with this guy Deuce, who looks exactly like Sean Connery, in my opinion. Definitely seems like it was intended. This guy kind of, reminds me of like, the Jurassic Park guy as well. He's being waited on right in the Bahamas. And then we flash to Costa Rica. We meet the lead character of the book, Abbey Chase, went over a cliff, straight into the water. As it says, in the, I forgot to say previously in the pages of, there was a lead story that took place that led into this. But Donovan's like laughing, he's like, he thinks he's killed her, but little does he know she survived the crash. And luckily, a harpoon gun floats right to her, and she shoots it right under the boat. We see he realizes it's his Jeep in the water. Damn you, Abby. And she shoots the gun and latches straight onto the thing. And then we get the introduction of the rest of the Danger Girls as they are circling the area, looking for Abby. And just such great action, man. Also, by the way, he draws, arguably, like, the most beautiful women in comic books. His action is so great. You don't get to really see that take place as much on his covers. Not to say I don't love his cover work. I do. Huge fan of his art. You don't get to see all this stuff on there, man. Again, really just makes me wish we had more stuff from him in terms of interior pages, because I love his stuff so much. Also, shout out to Annie Hartnell, who wrote the book as well with J. Scott Campbell. I love this shit too, man. They're speeding off, motor's dead, and she's just trying to get this thing to stop, and then boom, she gets hit right by Donovan again. He's got this golden skull. Like, what? I'm Donovan Conrad. I'm a winner. You'll always be a loser. Death is inevitable. Right behind you. And boom, he gets kicked right in the head, and he's got a fucking toupee that just fucking falls right off. And we see Natalia has come in to rescue Abby from this. I love how each one of these girls, too, has like a very distinct visual. And as he's all dazed and stuff, they're about to escape. She's got the golden skull. I love this little like cartoony effect where he's like seeing stars. You got a gold skull, a planet, a boot, and then Abbey Chase running around. And all he cares about is, oh shit, his toupee. And then he's fallen right over the cliff. And then we get this great title sequence. Cliffhanger presents J. Scott Campbell, Danger Girl. J. Scott Campbell doing what he does best, drawing some beautiful women. Great opening sequence here. I love the title page. It's awesome. Really effective, giving you like that cinematic vibe. Look at this ad for Battle Chasers too, man. What a great era. And so we get the rest of the Danger Girls. We meet Sydney, who kind of looks like Elizabeth Hurley to me. She's kind of the Brit of the group. Natalia, the Russian. And of course we got Valerie too. She's the tech girl. I love the bickering between them. Natalia's just, she don't give a shit, dude. And Abby's, new to the team. She's like, I think I'm ready to go. If you could just drop me off at the next stop. And now we meet Deuce, in person. He got his, he's got his Charlie's Angels there, and they're welcoming the Abbey to Operation Danger Girl, a top secret covert combat force. It consists of the best female operatives in the world. And she's like, what? And she's like, we're spies. He's like, Abby's, but you said females. You're a man. He's like, so let's see. He's like, so now he's going to give him the big whole deal. Talks about how Deuce was an early 60s MI6 agent. And there you go, the James Bond. He's like, well, in a manner of speaking, I lived a government-sanctioned life of danger and intrigue. Those were good years. Times change. And talks about the Soviet threat ceased in 91. The threat of Nazi terrorists, long thought to be extinct, is making its way back with a whole new organization. So they recruit people to fight this new Nazi force. We get Natalia Castle, former Russian intelligence agent and personal combat trainer. Her skill with knives unparalleled. Sydney Savage, extraordinary special ops agent from the land down under. Her prowess with a bullwhip is as legendary as her audacious sense of risk. Silicon Valerie, which is super funny because Silicon Valley. A computer and communications genius hailing from Oxford, her youth unfortunately puts her in a unique situation. Classified and top secret documents vie for priority over the latest issues of Barbarian Hunk Monthly and Video Game Weekly. And I believe our team would be complimented by the addition of Abbey Chase. And he proceeds to describe her to herself, a scholar whose expertise in ancient civilizations and mystical artifacts would be invaluable to our cause. Though branded an outlaw in many corners of the globe, this champion marksman with a knack for languages is actually more of a modern-day Robin Hood. We're asking for your help, Abby. We're asking you to join us to become a Danger Girl. This is like how you do a first issue, man. You start in with the action, you slowly get to the team, you build them out, you give their backstories. A great way to present it, through Deuce, who's leading his own Charlie's Angels. Again, look at these ads, dude. Now you got Crimson. I mean, each one of these books is fantastic. He's doing what he does best, man. Again, arguably the most beautiful women in comics are drawn by J. Scott Campbell. And Abby, being the new one, she's like, she doesn't know. She's kind of unsure of herself. She doesn't know if she's cut out to be a spy. And Deuce, he kind of talks her into it, and she begrudgingly, kind of agrees. You can even see the look on her face. Okay, I'll give it a shot. And so now they got a new mission. They got to go after this Hungarian art thief known as Rico Lagossi. Also looks like a complete fucking scumbag. Love the coloring on this book, too. Oh, dude, right here. When he slaps her ass, the look of anger. And then you got Sydney. No, don't blow your cover. And then it pans out. She's able to, kind of hold it together. And boom. Spear right to the back of the head. And then they realize what's going on. It was a double cross. Love this here, too. How Sydney fucking speeds in. And Abby's like, yeah, you better scoot over. I'm driving. And they make their way off. Action is so great in here, man. He's such a great storyteller, man. I mean, he's like, the pacing of the book is awesome. The he does great facial expressions. There's not much to not like about this book, in my opinion. It's just, wish we got more than this. We got 7 issues by J. Scott Campbell. There's a couple one-shots, a couple, other miniseries past it where, other people drew the book, but nothing is as great as these 7 issues that he puts together. It took forever for them to come out back in the day. That's another great cover. But that was a problem for a lot of books, like the fame, the amount of sales they were doing were still pretty high, especially this Cliffhanger. It was almost like the second oncoming of the next generation of hot artists to come into comic books. Were those 4. Chris Bachal, and they had been around for a while, but their own imprint, Danger Girl, Crimson, Steampunk, and Battle Chasers were all fantastic. This was probably my favorite. I really love Danger Girl a lot. Love J. Scott Campbell. Highly recommend this. I know they've done some collections of the book since, I feel like they did an Absolute when it was still a DC. I'm not entirely sure, but however you can get it, I highly recommend. And while you're at it, make sure you like, follow, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you're notified every time a new vid drops. And on that note, I'm out.